Hi and welcome to Babin's Bees. Today is November the 7th. It's a really warm day. It's about 15 degrees Celsius, and this is a great temperature to go inside the hive, try to get it ready for winter. So we know that the temperatures are dropping, and for us here, we stop going in the hives when the high of the day is below 10 degrees. So we're looking at the forecast and we can see that's coming very soon. One of the first things that we do is we remove the feeder. So I had a jar feeder here with some sugar water, did 1-to-1. This hive has lots of stores left for the winter, so there's lots of capped honey. And so in order for them not to eat their honey during this fall, we fed them some sugar water, and that seems to have worked. So the capped honey is still there, and hopefully that'll get them through winter. So let's just we'll go through hive comb by comb and take a look and see what I do to get them ready. First thing I do really is check their honey stores, just to make sure that they're roughly the same levels and things are going to be okay. I'll just move some bars out here and we'll take a peek. Get my knife here. And so for this bar, you can see I had marked it at about 70% capped. That was back in, let's just take a look here. That was back towards the third week of October, and you can see that it's pretty well maintained. So there's some good stores there for them. They'll use that in the winter, which is great. And we had calculated that this hive has about 5 bars or 5.5 bars of capped honey, and that's really what I'm looking for them to have enough food throughout the winters. About between 5 and 7 bars, so this has 5.5. So this should be enough to get them through the winter. Keep going through. So here's another bar that's nice. It'll get them through. Some nice capped honey. There's good weight to it, which is great. Here's another one. Now this one I had marked at about 80%. It does look like they've started to eat a little bit, some of the honey more towards the bottom. But that's okay. They have lots of stores. They tend to put their stores in the back of the hive, so towards the back, but also towards the front, and the brood nest, of course, kind of being more in the middle. So they've got lots of resource, which is great. Here's another nice one as well. Which is good. Something else that I'm looking for as I'm getting ready to kind of close up this hive for the winter is this hive had some deformed wing virus, and I'm just checking to make sure that that has gone down. And what I'm seeing so far is pretty good. I'm not seeing any levels to what they were previously in kind of more the 1st of October. So I typically take a look and see, as well, as the queen still laying, do I see any egg, do I see any larvae? I don't on this bar itself here, but as I move through I probably will see some. Something else that's interesting, of course, this time of the year is that your drone population certainly is way less than in the summer months. The drones die off or they get kicked out of the hive. And we're certainly seeing that true to be in this hive as well. So we do see here a little bit of cap brood. So there's some cap brood in there. And then in kind of the cells around that cap brood, I do see some eggs. So the queen is still laying. And the queen will continue to lay even in the wintertime. But of course, she lays a lot less than in the peak of summer. But she will continue to lay just to make sure that the hive population stays maintained to where it needs to. Of course, these bees are the winter bees, and they'll live quite a bit longer. They'll, hopefully live throughout the winter. We do see the queen on this bar here. See if I can locate her once again. And she's right there, right by the tip of my finger. There she is there. Hopefully you can see her okay. Right there. As we come closer to the front of the hive, we do see here that they do have some capped honey as well. So a lot of it is stored, of course, at the back of the hive, but there's still there's quite a bit actually that they put in the front. And that's great. It gives them quick access to food throughout the winter. And here's another good bar, all capped as well. And there again, this would be the first bar right in the front. And one thing that I do as I get this hive ready for winter is I create a space between the wall of the hive and that first comb. And what I'm trying to do, hopefully that it's doing, is that if there was ever some frost that was built up on that external wall, that it wouldn't be touching the wax and make it very cold. So I do put in a board. So I do just I just make one of these follower boards. This one has a hole in it. This would have let them access some of that sugar water. But I do take one of those boards and I create a wall there, and I'll just show the video. So again, we can see their entrance hole being there and that being the exterior wall. So I just create a fake wall this way with another board. Of course, I'll clean that up as I put this hive back together, but I did want to show what I do there. And then inside of this cavity here, this space here, I would fill that in with some styrofoam or something, just to kind of, again, to kind of create a gap there, to make sure that the frost wouldn't be sitting so close to the comb and just really kind of creating that chill. Also, something that I do, something else that I do to help the hive be ready for winter is just make sure that there is some vent holes, that the vent holes are clear, so that if there's moisture created, it has a place to leave your hive. And I think that's incredibly important. As well as I'll seal up some of the gaps. So I've made these hives myself, and so they're not perfect by any means, and there are some gaps. So I'll seal that with a little bit of duct tape just to kind of stop that heavy flow of cold wind coming in. Of course, you do want a place for the moisture to be able to escape, but to block that wind will also help to protect the hive throughout the winter. Something else that I do as well is I take some black tar paper, and I do kind of block some places. Again, not blocking that vent hole, and certainly not blocking the entrance, but just protecting it from the wind, so that it doesn't have this heavy driving cold wind throughout the winter. And again, it's not wrapped super tight, but it's only wrapped enough just to be a barrier and a block to that wind. So that's what we do to get hives ready for winter. We hope that it helps the bees and that they have a better chance of overwintering and surviving, and that we'll see them in the spring. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.